Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to A Drink with Crazy. What's going on, everybody? Man, we've got, we've got some things to talk about tonight. The future of the Discord community, potentially, and as well as some other things going on in the tech world that are just absolutely insane to me. Videos that were shared, I've not seen any of these. But before we get too deep into all of that, let's take a quick moment. I am going to, as always, Mike S. Miller, an amazing friend of the channel and just prolific comic book artist, suffered a stroke, and there is a there's a give, send, go to help with his medical bills, and I want to keep that in the forefront. He's not quite there yet. He's raised almost half the goal. This was set up by Shad Brooks, which is Shadiversity, also an absolutely fantastic individual. Please, if you guys are able to donate. If not, share the Give, Send, Go and say a prayer for Mike S. Miller. I am doing my best to just keep that going until we see that number gets up to the goal. Outside of that, let's say a quick prayer to start the show off, and then we're going to talk about the future of the Discord. We're going to talk about a lot of things going on tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I am feeling absolutely exhausted, so I'm going to do my best to go for as long as I can, but I'm also going to do my best to cover as much as I can. So, without any further ado, in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost, amen. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen. All right. Thank you. And hey, welcome to the chat. Xavier Guzman, Mike Has Bad Knees, and Maji Chan. Thank you guys so much for showing up early, and share this wherever you guys feel necessary to share it. For me, please. So, Discord. I have a Discord community. For those of you who are unaware, I have a Discord community. We actually started out over on Guilded years ago, because Guilded at the time I felt was just a better option for my community and what we value as far as tech companies and interacting with those tech companies. So I've come here to rage against the machine. Well, I hope that you actually do that instead of being like the band, because they rage for the machine now. Moving on from that discussion. But we started off in Guilded, and there was a point in time in the Guilded server there for a long time. It was a small server. It was like 150 people. But I regularly got told by people, they're like, man, I've been in servers with several thousand people that do not have the level of interaction. My server never shut down. The original Guilded server that we had, the community that we had over there, the conversations that were going, it was 24/7 nonstop. Like, you could not be like, oh, hey, what did I miss in the last, I haven't commented in 12 hours. I'm going to scroll up to find my last comment to catch up. It got to a point where you couldn't do that, because just with 150 people, there was so much interaction going on. Well, Guilded gets bought by Roblox. Roblox institutes their policy that you have to have a Roblox account. Obviously, everybody in my server knew about the Roblox stuff before all the stuff this year in 2025 blows up, and how horrible that company is, because, we pay attention. So I make the decision to migrate over to Discord. Now, Discord, a lot of people have problems with, which I totally understand. And they basically say, hey, not going to follow you over there. And a lot of people have not followed over to the Discord. And it did fracture the community. That move did fracture the community. Now, two parts of that. One, there was already a solid place, so on and so forth. Two, I obviously understand that I am not a compelling enough personality to follow wherever, which is totally fine. I mean, I understand this. It doesn't hurt my feelings or anything like that, but I understand some people are like, hey, I already kind of followed you here, took a chance on this, now it's changing. It's just like, I don't really need to follow you. Like, other places. Like I gave you my one and done, and that's totally cool. And I respect people for that decision. But it did fracture the community. Now, Discord right now, let's go over here to Ars Technica. Discord over here. Discord faces backlash over age checks after data breach exposed 70,000 IDs. This is a story that is ongoing, and this is something that a lot of people have already talked about. We've covered it here on this channel. But to basically be very, very brief about this, I just wanted to pull up the article to show you. Discord required was requiring age verification and IDs, and yet they got hacked. 70,000 people's IDs were exposed to online hackers, and that leaves all of these people with their physical identity. Like, I don't think any of us would necessarily be comfortable holding up our ID to a camera here on YouTube, right? But yet they're asking a lot of people to do that in Discord, and we'll keep it secret. Well, here's the thing. Discord itself does not hold this information. It's a third-party company that does that. So when Discord comes out and says, we don't actually hold your information, that's technically not a lie. What they are not telling you is that the third-party company that does all of this for them doesn't get rid of your data, doesn't get rid of your facial scans, doesn't get rid of your IDs. Now, without going crazy further into it, I've been told on my Discord by people who are researching this in my community who is coming in and telling me about it. They're like, hey, looks like it's the spicy servers. It's the adult servers that show a lot of stuff that, my server definitely not allowed. Like, not only have I flat out said, hey, you're not allowed to show this stuff in my server, just period. Also, I reserve the right to ban anybody for any reason. And I will give examples. Like, if I just wake up on the wrong side of the bed, if you say something in my Discord and I read it wrong, I will ban you. And if you go, dude, what the hell? Why did you ban me? I reserve the right to ban for any reason. If I'm in a grumpy mood, that is a reason. Now, I do that on my Discord because I wanted a certain etiquette in my Discord, and everybody understands that. I've even gone and taken down stuff back in the Gilded days that I thought was just a little bit too far, right? It wasn't, it wasn't there. Sorry, I have a child in the room playing video games and stuff like that, so I am trying to watch my language specifically here. Cuss words, don't care. This stuff, do care. But if it comes down to a point where they start to ask my community or even me that I need to do, now my face is already on the internet, a facial scan, it's like, here's a picture from a live stream, go for it, right? Like, because I'm already here, I'm already on the internet. I've been on Facebook for almost 20 years at this point. Like, my face is there. It's like, okay, if they request my ID and say you can't continue your Discord without your ID, I will be shutting the Discord down. I will be shutting the Discord down. And I know to the people who did take the chance and they did follow me over to Discord and they do still interact there, almost daily, not daily, but quite frequently. And they've made friends in that Discord. It does sadden me to say that this may be the end of the era. And again, not like I'm some massive channel, but I have gathered a small community around me, and that is important. And that's really cool. And what's so awesome about having a small community around me is I've gotten to know so many of you, like almost personally. Some of you have been to my house. Some of you have come over to the barbecue. Some of you are now personal friends with my wife, and you have her number and you text all the time. And all of that started. And that's what's really cool about a small community, that you really get to kind of know people and you get to kind of vet them over the course of time. And if Discord does decide to go the route of requiring your ID to just have a Discord in general, I know a lot of my community is already like, look, we're not down for that. Now, a lot of people I've never had a single interaction with you in my life. Fuck you. We went to high school together. Gone, boy. But it's one of those things that I know the values that my community holds. And it's like, well, your information's already out there on a bunch of other websites. Fair and true. However, we also all know all of these websites have data breaches and things like that expose us to potential further harm online. And that harm might come financially. It might come with just us being exposed to these data companies that they sell our data, and then we're just spammed to high heaven through our emails or our text messages or whatever. And when you go, okay, look, I'm already out there enough. I don't need another site collecting that data from me. I can't do this anymore. I'm drawing the line here. That is perfectly valid. And I think honestly, for a lot of servers out there, for a lot of Discords out there, that's what's going to happen. I know some people that have Discords just to game chat with people, just to talk with people that they game with. They're not running a server like I am. I'm in my failed attempt to be some social media personality. They're just running a Discord to talk with people that they game with. And so from the standpoint of that, it's like, well, those guys may care a little bit less, but obviously I would be considered like terminally online. I'm constantly looking into the news, constantly looking into what's going on with technology, and constantly trying to figure out how to navigate these waters with the values that I have. And obviously, like I said, I've been on Facebook for a long time. I was on MySpace before that. I think at one point in time, there were some other websites that were trying to kick off at the time that I was on. Everybody, there's a lot of social media sites that just don't exist anymore. But it really does get to a point where it's like, okay, how much can I ask my community to do? I've already asked you guys to take a chance on Guilded with me, and you did. And then when that didn't work out, I asked you guys to come over to Discord, and a lot of you did, but most of you didn't. And then on top of that, like now if Discord does some dumb stuff, I'm just going to let it go. Now, I am still on Facebook, but I also know a lot of people have problems with that website. Now, with Facebook, it's one of those, it's like, I'm already there. I've already been there. They have all of my info. And so it's like, okay, like that ship has already sailed. That genie is already out of the bottle. When it comes to some of this other stuff, though, it's like, do I really want to continue giving my information to more and more websites? And now a lot of people say, well, if a competitor to Discord comes up, would you go over there? The reason that Discord is requiring all this stuff is because of laws that were passed in Australia and laws that were passed over in the UK. And instead of Discord going, we're just going to have different things for different regions of the world, they're just going to make a blanket rule. This is why when we talked about this the last time, I said, basically, this is what the global governance is. This turns into like the one world government stuff. And we go, oh my God, you're such a conspiracy theorist. And that's totally not true. It's like, well, then why if one country makes a law, companies based in the US follow that law, even though they're not subject to it, can't be sued by it. It's like, oh, because they'll get blacklisted from that country. And guess what? Monies means more to them than values. Now, if there was like an American only server and it's like, screw this, we don't follow UK law, we don't follow Australian law, then maybe, right? But how many people are going to go over to an untested, unproven website where if Discord's getting hacked and 70,000 people's IDs are getting spread online, how can we trust this smaller company that is definitely more susceptible to being hacked? Now, again, I've been told that if you have like a Nitro subscription or something like that, that's when they're really going to try to push. My goodness, my voice is definitely gone. They're going to try to push this to people. If you want to keep your Nitro subscription on Discord, you're going to eventually have to provide your ID and stuff like that. I know a lot of people are going to be canceling their memberships and stuff like that, which again, just keeps going further and further. And it's like, okay, eventually they're just going to say, look, if you're going to be on our platform, you have to verify this stuff. And it's like, well, I don't run an 18 plus or an adult server that's strictly banned on my server. They're probably going to say, well, we can't guarantee that you catch everything. Doesn't matter. You have to do this. At that point, you shut it down. And my small community fractured after Discord, and it will absolutely fracture again here. Now, I will keep doing YouTube for as long as I can. And because I genuinely enjoy YouTube. I've been doing live streams for over a decade at this point. I did live streams when I was on Facebook when I had my Airsoft channel. I was doing Airsoft. If you guys can still go watch all of my Airsoft videos from like the last decade. I no shame in my game. I loved playing airsoft with my boys and having a blast, even in my 20s, dude. It was just a great time. And the community that I had surrounded back then, and people who were paying attention to me in the Colorado airsoft scene, that was a pretty wild thing. Like, it was, when you walk onto a field and 150 people know who you are, that's well, not 150 people, but like a large chunk of 150 people know who you are. That's kind of wild. That when people recognize you, that was really cool. And again, so I've been doing these live streams for a very long time, and I understand what it is to interact with my community. But I also understand, because parents are not parents, and parents are not monitoring what their kids are watching, and parents are not engaging with what their kids are watching and making sure that they don't go there. We're literally to a point where the government is stepping up and saying, well, we're going to be daddy. Because if mommy and daddy aren't going to be daddy, then the government's going to be daddy. And and now all these companies are just going to have to sign up for it. And it's not like these companies don't want to either. A lot of these companies, these large tech companies, are begging for regulations. Why? Because they know they're going to get called in, and they know they're going to be the experts who get to set the rules, which is effectively going to eliminate anything in the free market. And it's going to effectively eliminate any sort of smaller competition, because these large companies are going to come in and, through the means of government, are effectively going to monopolize the space even more than it already has been. So for the future of Discord, as long as they don't ask me for my ID, again, my face is here. You see my face right now. My face is on Facebook. I've posted pictures in my Discord. Like, if they just do a face scan and say, hey, yeah, we've definitely verified that you're an adult, I'm like, cool, sweet, awesome. I will probably continue. If they do require me to show my state issued ID, I'll give everybody notice as long as they let me post. And I'm just going to say, hey guys, Discord's shutting down. So that's where I'm at. It feels really, really bad to tell my community, hey, by the way, that place we gather and the place we have conversations and the place that we've prayed with each other and asked for prayers for our family, and the place that we've just had fun stories, and we share. Independent comic creators are sharing their stuff there. Independent YouTube creators are sharing their stuff there. Independent novelists are sharing their books there. Like, all of that could end if they push too far, because yes, all of us have already given so much of our data, so much of our privacy over to so many different companies. And it's just like, man, I just one more company. It just feels like the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's like, I just don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to keep having to provide personal, private information to these companies that cannot secure my data. Why? I don't want to do one more. I don't want to do another one. And I respect my community for holding to their guns, and I'm going to back you guys up on that. Now, again, I've been on Facebook for a long time. Those guys already have my data. That ship has already sailed. Even if I deleted my Facebook today, it wouldn't matter. They still have all of my information. So if you guys are the type of person that's like, oh, I'm already on Facebook too, and whatever, then you know what? Find me on Facebook and we'll connect there. I'm definitely not on Twitter or X anymore. I just that website is an absolute fucking cesspool, and it just draws out the worst in human beings, and so I'm not going back over there. But yeah, so that's potentially the future of the community, potentially the future of the Discord, and I just don't know what to do from that standpoint outside of just letting everybody know. So with all of that being said, if you guys are on YouTube watching this VOD, let me know what you guys think about the Discord stuff, and I'm going to turn it over to the chat because they're here with me right now, and you're in the future. Or technically you're in your present, but you're in my future because I haven't posted this VOD yet. And then like, if you watch this VOD, you're also viewing the past. So like, all forms of time are present. Just comment what you think about Discord. I'm going to talk to the chat right now. All right. Wow. I've kind of raised shots fired. I never trusted Discord. Took one look at the rules and conditions and noped the F out. Yeah. No, and yeah, that was a big thing too. Is that Discord? I understood the rules to be very, very similar to like Twitch. Like you have to follow the rules of like the leftist propaganda, mostly, which we've been good, but yeah. Freedom of association, that doesn't exist. Freedom of association doesn't exist anymore. You're free to associate with who the powers that be tell you to associate with. You're a tiny bum channel. Yes, I am, and I'm okay with it. And I'm okay with it. I have never had a single. Oh gosh, yeah, Convoy. Telegram next. I've never done anything with Telegram. Heard about them, but I've never done anything. I lurk, but through yours and other servers, I've met people like AC, Kahuna, etc. Benefit of not as active servers or quieter servers. Yeah. From a writer trying to build his own thing, right? Yeah, and that's the thing. Like Bill, I know, like, yeah, you're definitely a writer, Mikuiston, yeah. Royce was on Black Planet. What? Okay. First of all, what is Black Planet? Second of all, why was I there? Third of all, Pixar, it didn't happen. AI doesn't count. The only solution for all of us is to learn Morse code and set up telegraph system. I mean, there are ways around that, but the government gets really spicy with that. It sucks my Nitro is boosting the Discord for ADC. I think she meant Drink the Crazy, but I will not give them my ID. No. Well, and thank you, Maji-chan, for doing that. It just, yeah. Hollywood, LOS. Shut up. Oh, that's right. You guys used to joke with me about that. Oh, screw you people. Yeah, Convoy Bebop used to go out with me and play Airsoft. You can actually go see Convoy Bebop on the old Airsoft channel, man. He was one of the regulars. It was a great time. I actually tell in my safety, my yearly safety, when it gets to like first aid and stuff, I actually talk about a time that one of our friends went down, almost had a heat stroke. Like he went down from heat, and me, Convoy Bebop, and another friend of ours, actually Matt, who helped start this channel, we actually pulled that guy back from a serious heat event. Like probably would never have been the same, but all three of us knew first aid and what to do to pull our friend back. That was a wild event. And yeah, I tell that story fairly frequently. Oh my goodness, my chat just reloaded and went back. That's weird. StreamYard, stop doing dumb stuff. Technocratic overlords for 2026. Depressed party. Yeah. I worked for the federal government, and they're terrible with securing the personal data of their employees. The federal government's terrible with everything that they touch. Hey, PBR, the beer of welders and other insane blue collar nut jobs. I am drinking PBR because it's like $7 a six pack. And everything's getting too damn expensive now. So I'm just like, and honestly, it doesn't make me sick to my stomach like some cheaper beers do. There are some cheaper beers out there that are also about that same price, but man, they just make my stomach not like Natty Ice. Oh, if you've ever drank Natty Ice, you know what I'm talking about. Lurking can be fun, right? Personally, I'd stay away from Telegram from what I've heard. Really, I don't know anything about Telegram. I'm just the type of person where I'm just like, man, I've already signed up for so many things. I don't need to sign up for another thing. It's like, why? It's not helping me at this point. And I need to move the screen over a little bit so I can actually that. So yeah, just followed of Failbook. Didn't know you were there. Yep. Yeah, dude, I've been on Facebook for a long time. I still have my original account too. I've never been hacked, thankfully. So, ow, itch, ow. It's an itch I don't want to scratch on camera anymore. I haven't updated Facebook for a good 15 years, right? One of my RP Gate videos is still the most viewed on the channel, I think. There was one that beat it. Convoy. Your RPK was ridiculous, though. That was great. More libertarian in my 21 years I'm working for the government. Yeah. Tell the wife she was right. You are gay. Oh, good. You people. I've only heard about Telegram being used by pizza. Oh, goodness Lord. Okay. That's not good. Interesting. PBR is an honorable beer. My grandfather's best friends enjoyed the beer for 70 plus years until they passed away at the age of 87. So what you're saying is if I drink PBR, I'll live until I'm 87. That's what I read right there. That's confirmed. Like PBR will help you get old. That's good. Oh my goodness, my voice is just gone. I can just not get it together these last few weeks on the live streams. But yeah, so again, that's the news with the Discord, guys. I do want to keep it going, but I'm not going to force it. I'm just not. There's already so many places that all of our data is online with all of the different websites that we've used, and yeah. Telegram has been a great source of you want to see what's really happening in the Ukraine war. I'm going to be honest, but I don't care about what's happening in Ukraine. I don't care about what's happening in Ukraine. I don't care about what's happening in the Middle East. Those are other people's countries. Something that I told, it's really funny. It's something that I told my buddy a while back. And this is a very, I know it sounds very liberal, but I don't view it this way. I see the prices in my grocery stores. I see the prices of gas. I see my property taxes. I see everything just getting more and more expensive. And I tell people, I'm like, you know what? I told my buddy, I was like, man, I don't really give a shit about how Wall Street is doing when Main Street is failing. I just don't. I'm sorry. We've got, we've got an administration right now that's boasting how good the economy is doing, but the economy he's referring to is Wall Street. And I've never liked Trump's handling of domestic policy since his first term. His foreign policy, okay, cool, fine, whatever. I don't care about Trump wanting to get a Nobel Peace Prize for ending wars abroad. I care about our president caring about the United States. And he does, but in a very, very different way. All these jobs he's bringing in, AI companies that don't need people to work for them, AI that's going to replace a lot of workers, robotics companies that are coming in and they're building robots to replace workers. It's like, okay, I get it. We don't have a population boom in the country. We're actually on a population decline, which just inevitably means we're going to have to automate a certain amount of the economy because we don't have the bodies to fill the jobs. I kind of understand that. And that's kind of what you have to look at. But also at the same time, the guy's too stupid to say that. Instead of just saying, look, we're on a population decline. We need technology. We need bodies to fill jobs. Otherwise, we can't keep the economy going at the rate that we're going. When they're like, well, we have talented workers here. He's like, no, you don't. You don't have talented. And then they have to come and run cover for me. And it's like, okay, I voted for Trump 3 fucking times and I'm just done. Trump is literally the president that made me go, nah, I'm not voting in federal elections anymore. So the only Ukraine news I want to hear about is my money not going there. I absolutely agree. The price of food, gas, and normal goods has fallen here in Virginia, but our new government wants to tax everything. Oh my gosh, I've seen that, which is ridiculous. Ours is getting, again, but this is the winter time. Prices usually always fall in the winter. But they still haven't fallen so much that my wife, when my wife and I decided to move to Iowa and bring our family to presumably a better place, prices were down so much from Colorado that we were like, oh my gosh, this is insane. I took a job. We definitely had enough money with my job that I had, and I was making less money at my job at the time. And now my wife had to get a job in order to make up for a lot of the stuff, prices that have gone up. And she still has to work part-time in order to keep us going. And it's like, okay, so my wife and I moved here. My wife didn't have to work. I made less money than I do now. Now I make more money and my wife has to work now. That's how I tell where the economy is. And that's bullshit. We've got a family of 6 we have to provide for, and it's just not, they're like, well, prices have gone down a little bit. It's like, I think we're still paying $2.80 a gallon here. $2.80 a gallon here. I just paid for gas today. Like, it's insane. You know, milk is still almost $2.50, almost $3 a gallon. What happened to $1.50 a gallon milk? You know, egg prices are still fucking huge. You used to be able to go out and spend, you know, $2 on a dozen eggs, or even $1.75 on a bunch, or $1.80 on a dozen eggs. Eggs are still over $2 a dozen here. And again, nobody wants to say, and Trump is like, we beat inflation. Really, motherfucker? When you're in, when your first term, you signed the all that COVID stimulus bullshit, and you literally just said, yep, the president gives his approval, and not only his approval, his full endorsement to create 40% of the money supply overnight. But Trump's beat inflation. I'm sorry. Trump's spending in his first term and his second term have literally outpaced because of COVID. Now, if you take COVID out, he still outpaces like the last 2 presidencies. Like, I hated Obama for the spending that he did. I hated Biden for the spending that he did. But if I say anything about Trump spending all that money, all of a sudden I'm a bad guy and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And, oh, I'm just a Democrat. No, I'm not a Democrat, you stupid fucks. I haven't, as the Overton window has shifted and Republicans have become more socialist, I have not shifted. But PBR, for those who can't afford Bush or Bud, I can afford it. I just don't want to. But you're not wrong. You might be out of line, but you're not wrong, Mario Trujillo. If I recall correctly, the first time I heard about it was in a video game. Was in a video about a degeneracy ring. I could be misremembering. I'd have to look up again. I'm sure you understand. I'd rather not. Yeah, please don't look at stuff up like that. That's not. Yeah, don't do that. Yeah, sadly, it's getting impossible to survive. It just seems like it is. This time around, the Trump administration has been horrendous outside of some of the stuff from RFK Jr. Dude, I don't even know what RFK Jr. is doing. I've almost completely bowed out. I still pay attention to kind of what's going on, but I realize that me paying attention to politics and talking about it does not shift the needle. And the millions of people around the US talking about the bad shit doesn't shift the needle, because the machine is going to do what the machine does. And it's like, well, you're just a black pillar. Fucking cool. Show me something else to make me not a black pillar. Give me some tangible information to show me that it's going to change, because I'm not seeing it. In less than 20 years, we'll have a crisis in most blue-collar jobs because society for nearly 50 years keeps beating that white collar is the way to go to be great. Potentially, yeah. Prices never go down. The rate of them going up just goes slower. You're not wrong, Mike Hasbadney. Bring back the gold standard and then we'll talk, Orange Boy. Yeah, what's so funny, too, is he keeps being like, oh, we're going to get rid of income taxes. You are not going to get rid of the 16th Amendment. I'm sorry. Like, he's not. He's fucking delusional. But his base is like, yeah, get rid of it. You're going to do it, Trump. You're going to get rid of income taxes. Yeah, the 16th Amendment that was passed in 1913 that would require a constitutional convention to And I would not want a constitutional convention today. The absolute insane shit that the amendments they would try to put into law that would now be constitutional. Nope. Don't forget when bird flu. Oh my gosh, the poultry industry. Biden had chicken farms culled all the birds they had. Yeah, I'm aware. I'm also aware of the random explosions that happened at food processing plants across the country, all very close together, when they said a year or two before, well, if we just keep living like we're living, we're not going to be able to have enough food. And then the processing plants blow up. Interesting how that happens, isn't it? Interesting. By the way, Albany said verbal bets are binding. I told you read my comment about aloud. Oh gosh. No, fuck off. Stop getting my wife involved in this. Don't mock PBR. I've never drank beer, but I defend PBR until my dying breath because that was all old Frank consumed. Dude, I'm drinking it right now, but I'm not going to tell you it's good beer. It's like I drink Busch Light. I'm not going to tell you Busch Light's good beer either. I've drank good beer before, and it's too expensive for me. But it's good enough for me. We don't have the numbers regardless of what we do. The boomers had less kids than their parents. Gen X had less kids than the boomers. Millennials had less kids than Gen X, and Zoomers Zoomers aren't even having kids yet. Well, I guess some of them are, but statistically speaking, they're just not. Argentina and Javier Milei's government has been a white pill, but it took them going full commie and the country 3 days from total collapse for him to get in. I mean, yeah, that's what it's going to do. The processing plants that China don't own were the only ones that blew. Oh, I need to look into that. It's absolutely insane. I have very much been thinking about doing like a VIDOC covering the death of capitalism after the 1907 financial crisis. And what is it? It's like the Aldrich Verdant Act. It was the it's something like this. It's two people's names, but that was actually the predecessor to the Federal Reserve Act. It's part of the reason that I tell people I can't fucking stand Teddy Roosevelt, because Teddy Roosevelt was all about going after the monopolies and the monopolistic business practices, and that's what everybody loves Teddy Roosevelt for. Until it came to the point to centralize the banking powers under the federal government, and Teddy Roosevelt was all for centralizing the banking power, which is effectively a monopoly now. I fucking hate Teddy Roosevelt. He, Woodrow Wilson, and Taft. What's Taft's first name? I always forget. They were massive supporters of centralizing banking authority under the federal government, as well as the 16th Amendment. Which, if you read the 16th Amendment word for word, you actually why don't we do that? I have my handy dandy little pocketbook here. All right. So this is the 16th Amendment as it was written. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever source derived without apportionment amongst the several state and without regard to any census or enumeration. Here's what makes that so unbelievably unconscionable. The first 10 amendments were specifically written to reduce the power of the federal government. Okay? In the 16th Amendment, it says that that Congress shall is a legal word, have the power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever source derived. It never specifies. Dropping a like and leaving. Bye, King Bob. I love you. Come back. This child just looks at me. It never specifies what percentage they have to stop at. It just says they can collect taxes. It would be perfectly legal under the 16th Amendment for the government to tax you at 110%. that would be constitutional, because I don't know if you know this, but amendments to the Constitution are constitutional. So they would be able to collect taxes from you up to 110%, and it would be legal under the Constitution, under the 16th Amendment. Okay, from whatever source derived. That means if you pay your buddy $20 to come help you swap out your transmission one day in your driveway, or help build a shed or whatever, and you give your buddy $20, that is $20 that he received from you. That is whatever source derived, which means he owes taxes on that money. This is why you get tax laws that are like, they've tried it several times. What is it? The unrealized gains tax. So you have a thing in your house, and although you haven't sold it and it hasn't actually made you money, it's just sitting in your house, but supposedly it's gained value over time because it's an asset that gains value over time. Now they can say, well, that looks like it's more valuable now, so we can tax you on it. Even though you've never put it up for market, you haven't earned an income off of it, it doesn't matter. You have an asset that has potentially gained value, and they are going to try and tax you based off of the asset value, because now we consider assets as a type of income. And the 16th Amendment says it. Yes, I do keep one of these on my desk here, and I also have one in my truck, and I also have one. This is from the Cato Institute. And I also have one on my desk at work. It's interesting when you actually read the fucking documents that we're talking about. The Constitution doesn't specify to drop a like and leave. It does not. But in the First Amendment, it does give you the freedom of speech and expression. What don't you have on hand? You got a beer, a sword, and a background in the Constitution. Don't currently have a firearm in this room, so that's not on hand. Also, I have 2 swords in my background. You probably didn't see the one that's just a little dark right here. But yeah, and they're both Lord of the Rings swords. I also have a Ghost of Tsushima mask, but that's just right out there. Yeah. What don't you have on hand? I was like, hey, let's read from the Constitution. Pulls out Constitution. The Constitution amendments and Federalist Papers should be required reading for all. The Federalist Papers are in here. I've got the Federalist Papers right here in the bookcase. So I could get those as well. I do have the Federalist Papers on hand. Would you like a specific page from the Federalist Papers? We have a right to arm bears. No, that's a mistranslation. We have a right to arm bears. Don't arm the bears. Please don't arm the bears. You know, I feel like Planet of the Apes would have been a lot cooler with like Planet of the Bears. That would have been sweet. Now I want to see Planet of the Apes versus Planet of the Bears. But I don't know who wins. When the dyslexic kid reads the Second Amendment. Why am I giving a gun to a bear? What? I don't know. It's the Constitution says I need to arm a bear. No. We have a right to bear arms. Goes out, finds a bear, chops arms off. Now you have 2 bear arms. I don't know what these are good for, but I have them now. Don't forget houses, Royce. You and your neighbors made a nice neighborhood. Congratulations. You have to pay the government more money or lose your home. Oh, trust me, dude. Oh, property taxes, I think, are highly immoral. Property taxes are unconscionably immoral, Mario Trujillo. They absolutely are. And like I said, it's just this, man, this is a really depressing conversation to have tonight. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go. I am just exhausted today. And apparently my voice is going out. That's what I get for not warming up before I sing in the car. Because I sang for a long time. I was in rock bands for a long time. What do they say about old habits? Old habits die hard. The Bears. Da Bears. So, yeah, it's interesting. You didn't need to arm the Bears, but you have the right to if you want to. You get bears with laser beams. Or a bear shouldering two miniguns. You sing in the car, gay. I sing in my garage too. I used to sing on stage, man. Like, I'm sure there's videos of me out there singing on stage. If you have to keep paying for your property, do you truly own it? No, you don't. You don't. We're renting it from the government, and it's sick and disgusting. Listen, we all need to have fun once in a while. Enjoy while you can before you lose the ability. I get. No, I tend to listen to really depressing political stuff in the shower. Like, nothing, kid. I'm talking with chat. You shush. But yeah, I tend to if I'm in the shower, I put my phone on. I'm listening to people cover the Epstein file crap. When I shower, and I'm just like, if I just slipped on a bar of soap right now, I would be, and just not wake up. Like, I mean, just some of the disgusting stuff going on. Why deprive the world of such a beautiful voice? It's not a beautiful voice. Fuck you. Not right now. What is cool, though, is I can do a lot of the punk rock songs that I used to listen to when I was a kid that I can never do, and now my voice can do them, which is weird. Property tax. The government decides how much your house is worth, and then they decide how much you owe. Sounds totally fair. I mean, I don't think the government decides how much the house is worth. That's all done arbitrarily through markets that are not controlled by us. But yeah, I think I might do a Vidoc and share my little conspiracy theory about the death of capitalism. I just need to sit down, get my camera set up, get stuff going on, find some historical documents, and just do a 10 to 20 minute Vidoc about we have not had capitalism in this country for over 100 years. And what was so interesting too is in the crash of 1907, in the scare of 1907, when everybody thought that the whole financial system was going to crash, J.P. Morgan, one of the wealthiest men on the planet, got together with a bunch of his rich buddies, and they all said, hey, we can't let the system crash, because turns out when the markets are free, it's not just the poor people that get hit by the crashes, it's the rich people. And so the rich people got together and said, look, we need to take this money that we're holding on to, and we need to infuse it into the economy to keep this going. It actually forced a moral decision. And after that, they started centralizing all of the banking power into the federal government. And now anytime there is a system crash, the people who are protected are the wealthy, and the poor end up receiving the consequences. We designed this system in 1908 to make sure that the rich people didn't get hurt and didn't have to make the moral decision to take their cash and infuse it into the system. Instead, what they did is they gave the powers to the federal government. Now we just print more money, which, I'm sorry, inflation doesn't affect wealthy individuals the way that it affects the poor and destitute. And so, again, you actually saw capitalism. It's like, well, it's why I hate the disgusting arguments today, because they don't understand what it is. The last awesome moral thing that we saw wealthy people do in this country to keep everything afloat was in 1907 when J.P. Morgan got together. And J.P. Morgan, not necessarily the best guy on the planet, doesn't matter. All the rich people that he got together, not necessarily good people, but they made a decision to use their money to keep the ship afloat, because otherwise they would have gone down with it. Funny enough, once the governments come in and just start bailing out company after company after company because they can, wealthy people don't make the decision to support the rest of the economy, because they have nothing to disincentivize them from this. It is 1907 was an absolutely wild thing. Like, and the more that I look into it, the more that I am absolutely convinced that that was the last time that capitalism was actually employed here in the United States. It's insane. We've never had true capitalism. I would say that is inherently false. Because keep in mind, capitalism is an economic system that actually has a morality behind it. A lot of people you'll hear make the argument that Adam Smith was not actually an economist. He was a moral philosopher. And in order for capitalism to work, there actually has to be some morality behind it. And when everybody receives the negatives and everybody receives the positives of it, people tend to act in moral ways that tend to help each other. No, we did have true capitalism, but we in our lifetime have never had it. No, God, no. Far away. Nope, we have crony capitalism. Absolutely, we do. Even Royce's kids are like, what's wrong with dad? A lot, kiddos, but he's a good dad, so be nice to him. You're just patting my children on the head. It's okay. It's okay. Also, those that were against the Fed banking ended up on the Titanic. Yeah, that's wild. That one, I need to look more into that. I was just talking about that with a guy at work today. Yeah, apparently a lot of people who were very, very against the Federal Reserve Act getting passed ended up on the Titanic. So the opposition to the Federal Reserve ended up at the bottom of the ocean with the Titanic. But a lot of people who were for the Federal Reserve Act, who were also supposed to be on the Titanic, had something come up and ended up not on the Titanic. Isn't that interesting? It's kind of wild. It's kind of weird, you know. It's a little strange how the people who did not want the Federal Reserve to pass ended up on the Titanic, and the people who did want the Federal Reserve Act to pass ended up being too busy to get on the Titanic. I need to look more into this, but this is a very, very popular theory. I'm just going off of the theory. I've touched on it a little bit, and by touched on, not mean spoken about, but like just looked into it. I'm like, it seems true on its face, but more information is required. Wealthy people have assets, so inflation just makes them wealthier. Yes, it does. Once the next Carrington effect hits our planet, we're all on our own. Oh yeah. In the words of George Carlin, the poor are there just to scare the shit out of the middle class. Life's just funny like that. Life's just funny like that. Yeah, you know, I made mention, I don't know, maybe I'll get in trouble with this. You know, a lot of people, when it comes to like the Second Amendment, a lot of people on the right talk about, well, I have the right to keep and bear arms, and I'm going to. Yeah, you also have the right to form a well-regulated militia. And by well-regulated, they mean trained and ready to fucking go. And I really wish people on the right would focus on that. Because I'm seeing a lot of what looks to be well-regulated militias in Minnesota right now on the left. And they have information networks, they have databases, and they have all this stuff that they're gathering. But the right doesn't. And I'm just kind of wondering, when people say I'm a two-way supporter, it's like, no, you just like guns. You're not a two-way supporter. Are you really a part of, am I a two-way supporter? I mean, I have guns. Am I a part of or trying to actively organize a well-regulated, well-trained militia? No, I'm not. Am I actually a two-way supporter then? Sadly, I think the answer is no. This is how I be when I'm tired, chat. See, this is why I shouldn't do this when I'm tired. James Bond only seems silly if you don't study history. Yeah, that's wild. You haven't seen the Southern Rednecks. Go to the range. Are they a part of a well-regulated and well-trained militia? Going to the range and standing still and shooting at static targets does not make one trained. There's a little bit more to it than that. Anytime the right tries to create a regulated militia, the ATF shows up. The ATF would stop showing up if something else happened, but I'm not going to say anything more on YouTube. But there's a way to make the ATF to stop showing up. Just stop having a dog. If you don't have a dog on your property, the ATF won't show up. Duh. It's all you fucking dog owners. You're the reason that the ATF shows up. Oh, goodness. Oh. Oh, goodness. Oh, wow. Man, my voice, dude, I'm so out of it tonight. I was going to go for longer than this, but my voice is just getting worse and worse, and I am getting more and more tired. I wanted to just talk about Discord, but it seems like this turned into just a conversation about the absolute dystopia that we're living in. Regardless, I do appreciate everybody. I think I want to clip that, maybe turn it into a short, clip that little thing about the death of capitalism. Yeah, I like that. Go relax with the family. The family is relaxing for sure. I think I'm gonna go back to watching my bowling videos because I haven't been bowling in a while, and I'm jonesing to throw a ball down. Like, funny enough, check this out. This makes no sense to me. Chat, explain this to me before we go. Bowling last year on League, I come up, I take a shot, and I angle my body too much, and I know that I'm going to whiff this ball into the gutter. So I wanted to get my fingers up the ball, up the back of the ball a little bit more, and just kind of, well, not up the back, but up the side of the ball and rip a little more. Instead, what I did is I pulled with my shoulder, and I throw a 16-pound ball, and my shoulder felt like shit for months. I just felt this stinging motion I felt this stinging motion, or stinging just in my shoulder and down my arm for months. Well, my boy wanted to go and throw and practice with me one day. So I asked my wife, I was like, hey, do we have the money for me and the boy to go throw 3 games? And, and I'll get a beer or whatever, and he can get. So anyway, and I tell my boy, hey, like, my shoulder hurts. I'm probably not going to bowl my best. So I go out, and I'm working with my boy. I'm showing him what I'm doing. I'm teaching him, and I'm throwing shots, and I'm really making sure not to stress my shoulder. Dude, I hadn't bowled in like 6 or 7 months. I threw a 210, then I threw a 213. And I also gave my boy the option to pick what bowling ball I used. So we knew that the lanes were burned up. There was no oil out there. And my boy was like, no, he's like, I don't want to beat you. Like, he's like, I want to try to beat my dad at like his best. I don't want to try to beat him. He's like, so my boy, I told him, here's the bowling balls that I have. This one's good for lanes that have lots of oil on them and they're fresh. This one's good for lanes that are burned up, like the ones that we're bowling on. And he goes, Dad, I want you to use the ball that's going to work for these lanes. I'm like, okay. So we get to the 3rd game, and I tell my son, so I bowl a 210, a 213, get to the 3rd game, and I say, hey, I want to give you a chance. Do you want me to switch balls to try to take a chance? And my son, and he's being totally honest, he goes, Dad, he goes, I think I'd like to see you bowl with this other ball, not because I want you to do bad. And my son's honest as the day is long. Like, he's like, but you told me that there's a difference between these 2 bowling balls. And he's like, I'd really like to see that difference. And I'm like, 10-4, kid. Absolutely. So I get this ball, and it's obviously not the right ball for the lanes. and throw the third game with this ball. I could not get this ball into the pocket properly. I ball like a 130 with it. So I go from 210, 213 to like a 130. My boy, though, while I'm coaching him and showing him things and doing stuff, he bowls like a 191, 192, something like that. Absolutely fucking smokes me. I was happy. Everybody's like, dude, your boy beat you. Her. I'm like, you're damn fucking Skippy. He beat me, and he beat me fair. Yes, I did let him choose my bowling ball, which was the bad ball. Doesn't fucking matter. Them's were the rules. I set the rules. He went with it. He fucking smoked me by 60, like almost 60 pins. I was fucking glad. Dude, I called my dad. I called my buddy who's on Bowling League. I'm posting on Facebook. Like, I'm fucking losing my shit. My son at 12 years old kicked my ass, and I could not have been more excited. Absolutely fucking smoked me. Funny enough, my shoulder pain went away that day. Don't know why. Hurt my shoulder bowling. Still hurt for the rest of the season. Got worse. Got to a point where I like some numbness was in the fingertips. Go bowling, stretched out that muscle, stretched out that shoulder with the boy. Shoulder's been fine ever since. And actually got to a point where it was so relieved the next day. I had like that really nice, like when a muscle is just like nice and relaxed, it gets tingly. Had that in my shoulder the next day. And I was like, and now I just want to go bowling again. All of that to say, chat, thank you so much for being here with me. I'm sorry about the dystopian conversation we had. I'm going to go watch bowling videos because I like bowling and it's very fun. So yeah, serotonin activated stem cells? Or is it dopamine? No, I literally think I stretched out my arm and just kind of stretched out all the muscles and stuff, and it just, my arm stopped being a bitch. That's what happened. As you get older, you'll notice that your body starts wanting to be a bitch, and what you have to do with your body is you have to tell it to stop being a bitch. Then what happens is it becomes more of a bitch, and then you just become a grumpy old man because you tell your body to stop being a bitch and it just doesn't listen to you. I thankfully have not gotten to old man stage yet. I give you a pass for this good dad moment. Right? That's exactly what happened, Mario Trujillo. Dude, my boy's crushing it though. Like I think he might hit a 200 this year. He's 12. I didn't hit a 200 till I was 16. He is so much better at the game than I was when I was his age. Just so much better. And my youngest daughter, she's now bowling almost every game over a 100 now. Oh, she's crushing it. She's 9 years old. She's doing so good. I'm at the old man stage. I'm so sorry Mike has bad knees. I also have bad knees, but they're not. It's more my hip and my lower back. My left hip and my lower back are atrocious. It's not good. It's absolutely not good. But you know how it be. And it do be like that sometimes, chat. And it do be how it wants to be sometimes without actually being like that, but making you think it be like that. And with all of that being said, until next time, cheers, everybody.